Hi, my name's Jake and welcome back to The Culture Business, and today we're talking about the difference between strategy and tactics. This is business strategy, business tactics, or marketing strategy and marketing tactics. And the main reason I'm making this video is because a lot of people think that one works without the other, or one is better than the other. One produces short-term benefits for the company, so they're just going hard on that, or one produces the bigger picture benefits, so they're all thinking bigger picture, we'll go for that, and don't do the other. So today we're going to straighten that out and talk about the differences between tactics and strategy. Before we get into it, the bottom line is that the strategy is thinking about the long-term direction of the company, whereas tactics are these short-term objectives that prop up the strategy. Now, strategy, as I said, is the long term. You're thinking about the bigger picture and what sets you apart from the competition in your industry. This is why will someone repeatedly come to your business as opposed to the other options in the marketplace. What I usually recommend when I say long term is that you think of a minimum of 5 years in advance. This varies in different industries depending on how stable they are. But realistically, if you're planning a minimum of 5 years and then extending from there to see how far you can go, you will probably somewhere down the line run into some factors that will change your business that you don't know will come. And there are even unknown unknowns that you don't even know will exist 10, 15 years down the line. So it does limit the amount that you can plan in advance. Where I usually start with strategy is that there are several areas of the business that your consumers will look for to find a differentiation between you and your competitors. And you'll build a strategy in each one of these sections. But these don't happen on their own. So what you look for is underneath those, what are the areas of your business that allow you to produce those sections that the consumers look for. And probably what the hardest bit is after this is getting all of these sections and focusing them to produce one corporate strategy that will set you apart from your competitors. When you think about strategies, these are the well-known models like Porter's Five Forces, or the video we did last week on red and blue ocean strategies. Within strategy, you have very rigid academic models that people input into their business. So there are expectations of a certain amount of conformity within strategy. With this being said, there are emerging economies and emerging industries that will allow you to be creative with these strategies as well. So now that we have the picture of the long term, how are we going to implement this in the short term? Because a lot of people develop these strategies but kind of get scared or unable to put them into action, and that's where tactics come into play. As strategy is planning for the future, the tactics are the way that the overall goal is reached. And an important element of this is that it's also the bridge between management and staff. Because firstly, staff aren't really told what the strategy is, because any information that's leaked to competitors could possibly put you in a disadvantageous situation. And secondly, as we all know with motivation, if you're motivating staff or trying to motivate yourself, you can't always rely on the end goal. You've got to have different objectives that you reach to keep people moving forward. And this is the same within a business, that if you set targets daily or weekly or monthly, these tactics will allow you to build towards your strategy. So that's one of the main things. You need to make them align with the strategy. There's no point implementing tactics when you have no overarching goal to push forward to. Tactics are also what gives the overall strategy its legitimacy, because there's an emphasis on scientific understanding within business where everything has to be proven to make money, and tactics will help with investment, monetary or otherwise, because you are able to put these key performance indicators into tactics, whereas in strategy you can't really measure the impact that this has had over a 5 to 10 year period. KPIs show you exactly where you're getting your money from and where you're beating your competitors. Tactics are also where you can get creative with your business, because whilst strategy, as we mentioned earlier, is very much sort of dominant theory based, there isn't so much of that in tactics, apart from the fact that you probably should measure it. So you can really get creative with advertising campaigns, social media campaigns, creative employment schedules or payment bonuses. And this is really how the overarching strategy gets achieved. This is why a lot of people end up just performing tactics without a strategy, because they feel like it's really making those incremental gains on a day-to-day basis, where the short-termism of companies means that they prioritize this. And although this video has been short, the main takeaway from it is that you should be doing both strategy and tactics alongside each other. They should be working towards the same overall goal. And while we're talking about making goals, remember it's not just about how much money you can make and how quickly you can make it. It's also about the longevity of your company and what an impact you can make on society. If you like these videos, make sure to subscribe and follow at The Culture Business on Facebook and Instagram, and on Twitter at The Culture Biz. If you really want to know how these lessons fit into your business in particular, then email me in theculturebusiness@gmail.com.